Bubba Wallace crossed the finish line in second place. And then NASCAR took it away from him. Not one spot. Not two. 27. A race that didn't end until almost 2 o'clock in the morning. A 3-hour weather delay that stopped everything cold. A friendship between two drivers pushed to its absolute limit on track. And a rule that fans have hated for 25 years sitting at the center of all of it. Was it the right call? Or did NASCAR just steal one of the best runs of Bubba Wallace's season? Breaking down NASCAR's biggest moments, decisions, and controversies. Welcome back. This was the Quaker State 400 at EchoPark Speedway in Hampton, Georgia. The track most fans still call Atlanta. Rebuilt in 2022 with steeper corners and faster speeds, it runs like Daytona and Talladega. Big packs, bumper to bumper, wall to wall. Big packs mean big speed. And big speed means one small mistake can wreck 15 cars. And it uses a special rule that ended up deciding everything. This was race number 20 of the 2026 season. 260 laps, just over 400 miles. Ryan Blaney won the pole with teammate Joey Logano beside him on the front row. Toyota had a rough Saturday. Not one Toyota made the final qualifying round. Bubba Wallace started 22nd. Denny Hamlin, the points leader, started 28th. Tyler Reddick started 31st. None of that mattered once the green flag dropped. Blaney leads every single lap of Stage 1, all 60 of them. Team Penske ran 1-2-3 after just 10 laps. Wallace sneaked into the top 10 and grabbed one small stage point. No cautions, no drama, just Penske Fords out front. Clean. Dominant. Almost boring for now. Then, on lap 108, lightning struck within 8 miles of the track. NASCAR threw the caution, then the red flag. Cars were covered, drivers climbed out, and fans were evacuated from the grandstands. At that moment, Blaney was leading, Wallace was second, Reddick third, Bell fourth, Elliott fifth, and Hamlin was back in 15th. The delay lasted 3 hours and 9 minutes. Racing didn't resume until 12:01 a.m. It was after midnight, and this thing was just getting started. Coming off the red flag, teams split on strategy. Blaney and Logano took fuel only. Wallace and Reddick took 2 tires. Eric Jones led a group that took 4 fresh tires. Strategy matters here, it matters later. Late in Stage 2, Wallace was running inside the top 5 when Carson Hocevar suddenly slowed with a possible flat tire. 2 laps later, Wallace's car got loose. He lifted off the gas, slid toward the bottom, and Gibbs was right there with no time to react, catching Wallace's back bumper. Wallace spun into the grass, while Blaney calmly took the Stage 2 win, sweeping both stages. Wallace finished 31st in that stage, 0 points. From a top 5 car to spinning through the infield in about 2 seconds. Most fans figured his night was done. He didn't quit. Not even close. In the final stage, Wallace clawed all the way back to the front, trading the lead with Blaney, Larson, Reddick, and Bell. With 30 laps left, Wallace threw a block on Blaney that sent Blaney into the wall. Blaney drove alongside his close friend under caution to make his feelings known. 2 friends beating on each other like strangers. Then chaos. A.J. Allmendinger spun twice. Larson spun once. With 6 laps to go, Larson got squeezed into Hamlin and hit both walls. Briscoe spun, clipped Austin Hill, and Riley Herbst had nowhere to go and plowed right in. Alex Bowman spun too. The result, overtime, green-white checkered. 2 laps to decide everything. On the restart, Hocevar led the top lane, Blaney lined up underneath, and Wallace was third. Hocevar grabbed the white flag with the lead. Wallace gave Blaney a massive push that shot him to the outside of Hocevar entering turn 1. Blaney swung high coming off turn 2. Wallace got his own run and dove to the bottom. Suddenly, 3 cars, side by side, racing for the win at almost 180 miles per hour. Christopher Bell shoved Blaney hard through turns 3 and 4, and that push sent Blaney to the victory. Wallace crossed second. The clock read almost 2 o'clock in the morning. For a few minutes, Wallace had a runner-up finish. Then NASCAR made the call. Officials determined Wallace went below the yellow line on the backstretch and gained position. Penalty issued. Wallace dropped from second to 29th, the last car on the lead lap. Christopher Bell was elevated to second, Jose Var third, Ty Gibbs fourth, Eric Jones fifth. Shane Van Gisbergen finished sixth and didn't even fully realize what happened. On the radio, SVG just said, "A great points night. We needed it." The rule at the center of this is straightforward on paper. At the bottom of big fast tracks, there is a double yellow line painted on the surface. Drivers must stay above it. Section 8.7.2.a of the NASCAR rulebook states, passing below the double painted lines to advance position will result in a black flag. If NASCAR decides a driver dipped below that line to pass or gain a position, the penalty is automatic. If another driver forced them down, that driver can be penalized instead. This rule was added in 2001, directly after Dale Earnhardt was killed on the last lap of the 2001 Daytona 500. It was designed to prevent cars from diving onto the flat apron at full speed. The safety reasoning is sound, but the execution has always been messy. It is a judgment call. A human official decides in roughly half a second. No automated system. No objective standard beyond the painted line itself. That inconsistency leads to the same move being called differently in different races. This is not even the first time it happened at Atlanta. In 2022, Christopher Bell was penalized here for the same move, dropping from second to 23rd, with many arguing he was forced down before contact. Sound familiar? Wallace disputed the call directly. "It says advancing your position, which I did not do," he stated. "I stayed third, and I was all over the brakes to make sure I did not advance. As soon as I turned, I was like, I am going to wreck. I got on the brakes, kept it underneath me, and still ended up side by side. That move should have propelled us to the lead, and it didn't, because I knew it was wrong." His argument was clear. The car got loose. He wasn't accelerating through the move. He never cleared either Jose Var or Blaney, and the move ultimately didn't help him. Wallace, crew chief Charles Denike, and competition director Dave Rogers walked to the NASCAR hauler for a 31-minute meeting. Case presented. Case denied. "A penalty is a penalty," Wallace said, walking out. The numbers tell a brutal story. Wallace came into Atlanta 13th in points, sitting 77 points above the playoff cut line with 7 races left. He earned 1 stage point in Stage 1 and 0 in Stage 2. The penalty cost him 27 points alone. He lost 22 points to the cut line at EchoPark. After the race, he sat just 55 points above the bubble. He left Georgia with almost nothing to show for one of the best drives of his season. Wallace has finished outside the top 20 in 6 of the last 9 races. Drivers below him in the standings are watching closely. Wallace himself said they are licking their chops. With 6 races remaining in the regular season, the margin is shrinking. He's not safe. He knows it. The Ty Gibbs subplot also cannot be ignored. Gibbs cost Wallace at the end of Stage 2 with that bump, then came to apologize after the race. Wallace's response was direct. "I just said lift. There was an opportunity to give, and you didn't." Gibbs felt the interaction was disrespectful, stating, "I tried to help him out there at the end and push him to win." One Toyota teammate helped Wallace late in the race. Another hurt him in the middle. Funny how that works. On the debate itself, both sides carry weight. The rule is clear. Wallace was below the line. He was side by side with the leaders through turns 3 and 4, in contention for the lead while below that boundary. For a brief moment, he was the leader by a nose. NASCAR has to enforce the rule consistently. If they let this slide, the rule means nothing. Bell was penalized in 2022 for less. On the other side, Wallace argues the car got loose. He didn't choose to go down there. He was on the brakes, not gaining speed. He didn't clear anyone. 3 wide at 180 miles per hour. Where exactly was he supposed to go? The rule hinges on intent and outcome. Both are murky here. It's a judgment call, and judgment calls at 180 miles per hour in half a second will always be debatable. This isn't about one race. It's about a rule that's been controversial for 25 years. A 27-position swing. Playoff implications. A driver's entire season. Decided by one official. In about half a second. Whether you think NASCAR got it right or got it wrong, That is a rough way to end a night that didn't finish until 2 in the morning. Meanwhile, Ryan Blaney earned everything that trophy represents. He led 171 of 263 laps, the most laps led at a drafting track since Richard Petty led 184 in the 1964 Daytona 500. He started on the pole, swept both stages, and won the race. It was his second win of the season, and his first since Phoenix in March. It also marked Ford Motor Company's 750th Cup Series victory, a significant milestone for the manufacturer. Blaney now sits just 65 points behind points leader Denny Hamlin, firmly in the regular season championship conversation. He gave direct credit to Bell after the finish. "I really have to shout out Christopher Bell. He was a big reason why we won." Jose Var finished third and was singing on the radio before the overtime restart, a remarkable performance for Spire Motorsports. Shane Van Gisbergen crossed sixth for his third top. 10 on an oval in 2026, a genuine growth story that continues to build. A wild night, a 3-hour delay, chaos, comebacks, crashes, and a friendship-tested lap after lap. Ryan Blaney dominated and deserved the win. Bubba Wallace drove one of the best races of his season and drove home with almost nothing to show for it. A 25-year-old rule decided it all in about half a second. The rule exists for a reason. Safety matters, always. But when one judgment call can swing a driver 27 spots and put his entire playoff position at risk, the question of whether NASCAR needs a more consistent and objective enforcement standard is absolutely fair to ask. If this breakdown helped you understand exactly what went down at Atlanta, this channel is brand new and working hard to cover every major NASCAR moment, decision, and controversy with the depth it deserves. The goal of reaching 2,000 subscribers would mean everything. If you got value from this video, a like and a subscribe genuinely goes a long way. Next week, the series heads to North Wilkesboro, a track that hasn't hosted a points race since 1996. Everything you need to know before the green flag drops is coming. But before that, drop your answer in the comments right now. Was this the right call from NASCAR? Did Bubba Wallace go below that yellow line to gain a spot? Or did his car push him there, and NASCAR punished him simply for keeping it off the wall?